I'm in the semi-ghost town of Oregon, New Mexico, north of Las Cruces on Highway 70. Here's an old abandoned gas station. Here's a bunch of abandoned rubble. And a boarded up window. Oh, look at that graffiti, man. I don't care much for that, but some people might like it. Let's go inside and take a peek. It looks like this building was on fire at one time. It burnt the timbers down to the concrete. Look at the timbers that once held the roof up. The steel beams that held the roof up seem untouched, but they're kind of rusted. I guess this pile of ashes was once the roof. You can barely see it, but if you look close, it says Oregon Trailer Park. Here's a pit they climbed into to work underneath automobiles. Let's check it out and see what's in there. A bunch of rubble and burned out debris. Looks like a little bit of old insulation. There's an old burn-up tire. This was once a workbench. It sure must have been a hot fire. This town's near ghost, and if the fire department came at all, they came too late. Look at these old white wall tires stacked up over here. You don't see many white wall tires anymore. The packaging on this garbage out here makes me think it's from the 50s. White's Premium Antifreeze? I never heard of that one. Look at the remnants of these old electric meters. Here's an old style circuit breaker box, and I bet you have to put fuses in it. I'm looking at this door. It's got a nice lock on it. But the windows and the window frame are broken. If you wanted to, you could just walk right in that opening. Man, this place is kind of creepy. Someone just had to write foul language on the wall. Couldn't resist. I can't say for sure what this graffiti says. You can clearly see the roof is gone on this building. I keep seeing lots of concrete slabs behind the station. Here's a pipe sticking out of the ground, and it looks like a gas line. My wife looks like she's found some flowers over there. I think I'll go pay her a visit. Check out this old fuse box. It takes the screw-type fuse, like in the olden days. That looks like where the electric meter plugged in. Growing next to it are some beautiful Back here is clearly an arroyo, but I don't think water's flowed down this arroyo for quite some time. There's an old water tank on top of that hill. It's got Double N written on the side of it. Here's a bird of paradise plant. Normally I would say it's growing wild, but in this case I don't think so, because I'm looking up the lot further and I see other birds of paradise growing. Here's a view of the service station when viewed from Highway 70. It says garage on the front of it. Looks like somebody broke the front window here. And some people have definitely been in here. Let's take a look and see what they wrote up there. COVID-20. Someone's trying to be a joker. Let's see who claimed this graffiti art. I guess that's the name of the painting there, Many Trails Gone. And a person named Gab is the artist. Here's some weird graffiti for you. What does it say up there? I can't read it. Well, here's an open door. Let's go inside and take a look. There's a tumbleweed inside, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a bathroom. You know, this section of the building used to be a cafe. What does it say? Mile High Cafe. A gentleman came over from this building across the road, and I was concerned I might be trespassing. So I asked him, I said, "Am I trespassing?" And he said, No, I just wanted to show you this old cave back here. And if you go over to the cave, that's where they held Billy the Kid before they transferred him to Old Messiah. So let's go take a look. I feel like I'm walking back in history. And indeed I am. You know, this truly does look like a jail. The jail of the town of Oregon. You can see that there's a steel door here. This looks like some kind of a peephole. If you got someone locked up in there, you can talk to them and give them food and water. It's cut into the side of this hill. No way out of this jail for sure. I'm not going in there. There might be a rattlesnake. Stone walls. Well, that peephole's got a steel grid going across it, so I guess it's just for talking. I wouldn't want to be locked up in here. But this is where Billy the Kid was kept. Look at the old hinges they used on this door. Good old strap hinges. And it looks like triple strap locks. One at the bottom, one in the middle, and one at the top. So you're not going anywhere if you're locked up in this jail. Yep, this jail seems like a good place to keep somebody. It wouldn't be so hot in the summer because it's buried in the side of the hill. Also, the floor, walls, and ceiling are made out of solid rock, so there'd be no digging out of this jail. Here's an old weird looking rock. It's too symmetrical to be natural. It's got graffiti on it. What's that say over there? Canada? Check this out. Tile on the ground. Must have been a floor for some old building. Looks like glazed white tile. You know, the more I look at this thing, I think it's a well. And I'd say this is where the horses came to drink. Nothing in here now but tumbleweeds. Looks like they've used plywood to cover the top of the well. There's a great big old spider web. And I'm just guessing, but I bet you this is where they hitch their horses. Here's an old metal structure, and my best guess is it was once a sign. Looks to me like there's been some kind of a fire here. Some old fire extinguishers. Over there, some ashes. I saw this black wire on the ground, and at first I thought it was a snake. It made me jump. I recognize this. It looks like an exhaust fan for a burger joint. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm going to guess part of an automobile frame. Half of this structure is made out of wood, and the other half of the structure is made out of cinder block. It's much newer on this end of the building, but this part looks quite old and dilapidated. Here's an old faded out sign full of bullet holes. See those pigeons up there? Well, they were nesting in this sign. I must have scared them when I walked underneath the sign, and they came out and scared the crap out of me. Well, they got this boarded up tight. I don't have any desire to go in there anyhow. Well, it looks like it's listed as no trespassing, private property. Enough said. Let's check out this old rock building. What does it say up there? Oregon. Yay, Oregon. Sandwiches, lunches, beer, and dinners. It does look like quite an old building. It has a western facade look to it. It must have been quite a place to come to and eat at one time. I can't say for sure what the name of this place is, but to me that looks like family. And I'm just gonna guess Joe. Look at all that busted out glass. People are so destructive. But you know, what can you expect? Well, here's Kenny Hay. I would say this is fairly recent, maybe made in the 1960s. Over here, some old debris. It looks like building siding material. Yeah, now I got it figured out. This building is put together with panels. It looks like galvanized steel panels. And these are the other panels, the extra panels that were used to construct this building. This panel happens to be rusted out right here. The poles are bent on this building, but it's got a nice little porch on it. All the windows are boarded up over here, doors included. Looks to me like the last time it was opened was quite some time ago. And I'm just judging by the gasoline prices here. $3.22. It's been a while since gasoline was that high a price, so I'm going to guess about a decade or so ago. At one time you could buy food and fuel here. Here's a big old sign, very clear, says no trespassing. We saw this sign over here and it says Toro Rock. We thought it was some kind of a landmark, landscape or something. So we went down this road over here, and as we got towards the end of the road, we found that they were setting off dynamite. They were mining rock from the mountainside. Here's the back side of this building, and it looks like it's totally constructed of galvanized steel. If you were wondering where this town gets its water supply, well, we just found it. I count 1, 2, 3 water towers over there. And that's where this little town of Oregon, near Ghost, gets their water supply. Just romping around this town a little bit, I noticed across the road, just north of the town of Oregon, they got this arroyo, and it looks like there's some kind of a cave back in there. I can't get there because I'm fenced in. But up over there, looks like there used to be an old homestead. It looks like it might have been an old foundation for a homestead. Here's that barbed wire fence I was telling you about. I'd explore it, but I can't get over this fence here. If I had to guess, I'd say that homestead up there belonged to a miner. I noticed the piles of rock and rubble up there, and that would indicate to me that they've been doing some mining. Here's a better look at that debris pile over there. You can see it better from across the road. This is kind of a steep grade. Trucks have a hard time getting up this hill. Here's a lot where some old automobiles have been left out in the yard. Let's go in for a closer look. Does anybody know what kind of pickup truck this is? I don't recognize the make or the model of this truck. It's missing its motor. But over there is a voltage regulator. That's what it looks like. And the windshield's broken out of it. It's totally rusted and there's no paint on it at all. Look at those extra headlamps there. And a turn signal. It looks like the transmission's still intact and underneath the truck. Check out these long extended mirrors. Haven't seen anything like that on a modern truck. Looks like it's a step-side model. I can see the speedometer still there. The steering wheel's still intact. The door panels look good. Look at this. The seat's missing, but if it were there, you'd be sitting right on top of the fuel tank. Looks like some of the pedals are still there too. I'm seeing a clutch pedal and I'm seeing a brake pedal, but I don't see the gas pedal. I wonder what kind of truck this is. The door handles are still there. And this old truck bed still got the wood on it. There's no tires on it, but you can see the brake drum. It looks like the drive shaft is gone. Look, you can still fill it with gasoline. It even still has a cap on it. Right next to it is this antique tractor. And it's an old one. I know a little bit about cars, but I don't know anything about tractors. The motor's still intact. There's the starter. That looks like the muffler, maybe. That looks like maybe where the carburetor would mount. I don't know if you guys can read this. I'm going to get up real close to it. This tractor looks like it was made by the Oliver Corporation. Anyhow, here's the front of the tractor, the radiator, and on up where the driver sits. Look at the lights on that. Here's an old road grader. Looks like a grader made in the 50s or 60s, I'm not sure. Anyhow, I just noticed this sign. It says private property, no trespassing, so I'd better get out of here. We're right here at the old schoolhouse. This used to have a bell tower. When Rosalind and I last visited this schoolhouse, built in the 1880s, there was a bell tower on top, but it was crumbling and so was the roof. But this roof now has a rippled kind of a tin roof, looks newer. And it has a new door. It's being renovated right now, but the structure's made out of stone, original to the 1880s. It is closed right now. As you can see, somebody's renovating this. All you have to do is look at the new door and the handles. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, I can see the carpentry tools in there. Here's a view of the building from street side. Looks like they used brick to create the arch. There seems to be another building, looks a little more modern, and it's attached to this old building. Here's a view of the inside from a different window. You can really see the stone archwork from here. Look, there's a building over there that says Oregon General Store. Looks like it might be a little bit of an antique store now. There's a milk pail and some old chairs there. Looks like some kind of hand truck to carry an oil drum. The roof's in need of repair. I can see they're working on the roof. When I was checking out this old church schoolhouse, I couldn't help but notice the flowers out front. This is a globe mallow, and it happens to be blooming right now. Here's some more beautiful wildflowers. This old church schoolhouse building has a building permit. Anyhow, they're working on this. Someone's bought it and getting ready to fix it up. Here is a golden poppy. Here's a purple aster. Here's the fire emergency station for the town of Oregon. Well, this concludes my video of the town of Oregon, and maybe you've learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.